What would be an escalation?
An escalation would be, let me see your license and registrations. If you fail to provide your license and registration to the officer, you're subject to additional violations or tickets. At this point in time, in the DWI context, an officer will often be able to say or see or smell either an alcoholic beverage in your car or the smell of alcohol emanating from your clothes. Based on those observations, we are now escalating the situation and giving the officer the green light to further their investigation up until level 3.
What's criminal activity?
Criminal activity is the observation by the officer, either directly or through the shared information from other officers, that the suspect has engaged in something that is illegal or unlawful. In our context, again, we're talking about the DWI. So now, the officer has seen you fail to abide by the VTL, Vehicle and Traffic Law, whatever section with regards to the moving violation. You've pulled down the window. The officer has either observed an alcoholic beverage in your car or smells an odor of alcohol emanating from your person or from your area. Oftentimes at this point in time, the officer will say, hey, step out of the vehicle, and to further his investigation by conducting field sobriety tests, which will further confirm or attempt to indicate the consumption of alcohol from you, the driver. At this point in time, when you exit the vehicle, you're at level 3. There is reasonable suspicion with regards to a criminal activity, which is at this point in time, driving a motor vehicle while intoxicated by either alcohol or drugs. The officer now has the ability to detain you or to seize your person. And the officer requesting that you provide field sobriety tests, which are divided attention tests to determine your coordination and motor skills, which are normally or indicated that they impact your ability to function by alcohol, is the escalation and furtherance of the investigation of the officer. Based on these field sobriety tests, you again are not free to leave.
Detain you? I'm not under arrest. Why can't I leave?
Correct. You are technically not under arrest at this point in time. But based on the totality of circumstance and the evidence that the officer has observed, starting with the traffic violation, the odor of alcohol in your vehicle or emanating from your person, your lack of coordination, perhaps you're unsteady on your feet, perhaps you are slurring your words, or any other classic symptoms or signs, of being under the influence of alcohol. A classic one would be bloodshot and glassy eyes. The officer is building a case literally, moment by moment, to arrest you for driving while under the influence of alcohol. So because you are the subject of an ongoing investigation at this point in time, you are detained, you are seized, and you are not free to leave.
What should you do at this point in time with the DWI scenario?
At this point in time, you should be respectful and polite to the police officer. However, you should do nothing to further incriminate yourself. Note that everything you do with regards to your interaction with the officer from that point on is building the case. The field sobriety test that you will be asked to perform, the officer may ask you to blow into a portable breath test device, which is commonly referred to as a PB2 or the roadside alcohol sensor. All those things build the case against you. Now, there are consequences that I will get into later on, or perhaps in an in-person consultation, with regards to the legalities of refusing to take the PB2 or not participating in the field sobriety test. But as a general rule, I believe that it is best for us to not provide additional information to the officers so that they could use against you. So my recommendation would be to politely decline the test that the officer would like you to take to avoid supporting their case against you. Now, if you politely decline the test that the officers afford you or want you to take to further their investigation, you will be arrested. Let's make that clear. However, you are not allowing the officer to build a stronger case against you. By refusing to take a chemical breath test or analysis of your blood, normally which is afforded to you at the police precinct, you are preventing the officer from having scientific evidence against you as to how much blood alcohol is in your system. However, your license will be suspended as a result of that, to be clear. However, based on my experience, I do believe that my clients and individuals in that position are better served by refusing to take these tests.
So in this particular scenario, who would be the first person I should call?
When you arrive at the precinct, the first person you should call is an attorney, so that you could have legal representation, which you're entitled to at that point in time. You are entitled to legal representation the moment they place you in handcuffs. It is absolutely critical that you have proper legal representation to fight these charges of DWI. Whether or not you refuse the test or you consent to the test, you will need skillful and tailor-fitted representation to the facts of your case to be able to navigate the criminal justice system and ultimately minimize the impact that this DWI arrest can have on your livelihood and future.